Here are my two Cisco 2901 routers that I purchased from eBay. And basically, I just bought these because I've been watching some of those Homelab dial-up videos, like the Collab Retro one, and kind of just piqued my, or sparked my interest in trying to make something like that here. I really have no background with Cisco routers besides one networking class that I took like, I don't know, 8 years ago where we used Packet Tracer. So setting these up was all new to me, but it was actually pretty simple. Both of these I purchased from eBay from the same seller. I purchased one first, got that one working, and then realized it'd be cool to have two set up and getting them talking to each other with PCs dialed into both of them. So yeah, these are 2901s. They were $40 shipped each, which is just pretty crazy considering that these are, you know, old enterprise routers, and they're not that old. But so on the back of them, what we have here, let me get that in. So the routers came as is without this modem. So they came with this T1 DSU CSU, and then the 2FX DID, which is what you'll need to do this. At least this thing. You don't need the T1 if you don't want to mess around with T1. But it came with this, so I knew that it came with the voice module, PDM, or I can't remember what it's called. That's inside the router. And then I purchased the modem, which is the WIC 1AM V2. So you know, the modems were $6 shipped each. Routers were $40 shipped. And then I just had to buy a couple phone cords, which buying phone cords in 2024 is kind of crazy, but I didn't have any, so I purchased a few of them for this, and console cable, since I only had one USB cable for this one. And that's it as far as the routers. So basically what's happening here is this one here, the one down below, is connected to my LAN, right? So it's connected to my UDM-SE that's in the back of the basement here. This one is basically like the main router in this case. And then both of them are configured the same, so they both have the same setup back here. And then I have a T1 line going from this one to this one here. And the T1 line is just a Cat6 that was just crimped down to the T1 standard, but the I can't think of the name now, but crossover, yeah, crossover T1. And then we have the modem, right? So this modem here will connect to one computer, and the modem in this one connects to another. And then, well, actually, I should say the modem connects to the DID card here. The computers connect to here as well. So basically, you dial one of these numbers, and it connects to the modem. So you set this up. So for instance, this one is line 0 on here is the number is 201, and this one's 202. So I dial 20. So if I'm on the 201 line, I dial 202, and it connects to the modem, gets me out to the internet. And we'll show that here shortly. But that's about it. I'll start up my one PC here so you can see kind of the configuration that's on here, in case you have any questions if you're trying to do this yourself. And then we'll dial up PC to this one, PC to this one, show that they can go online. One of them can ping each other. The other one has issues pinging, so probably the configuration in one of the routers is not perfect. And then we'll do a Halo LAN Party all over dial-up, and then we'll throw this beast of a Z840 in. This one's hooked up to Ethernet to this one here, so we'll have 3 PCs all in the LAN Party. So let me put this one back up real quick, and then turn the PC on, and I'll show you the config, and then we'll get the PCs dialing up. All right, so the two routers are up and running, and I'm going to show you the configuration of this one. And they'll be similar between the two. There'll be minor differences because of the ports. So for instance, my outside port, or the port going to the internet on this one, is the gigabit 00 port. That's my outside port, versus my outside port on this one, because these are connected to each other through that T1 crossover cable, is the serial port on this one. So the T1 line is my outside. So there'll be some minor differences in that, but as far as the dial-up stuff, that should be pretty much the same between the two. So if you're trying to do this at home and you're needing some help, maybe you can kind of look at this video, look at the show run here, and maybe it'll help you out. So okay, so I was connected into this earlier. So let's do a show run. There we go. So some of the stuff you'll need, all this AAA stuff, this is all for the authentication for the dial-up. And then here we go. So I made a IP address DHCP pool for the and I called it dial-up. Probably didn't need it because only one device can dial in at once. So I could have just assigned a a static IP address to that port, I'm sure. But there's the network address, the DNS server that it uses, which I don't know if that even is working at the moment because I was having issues, but I know that's the how you're supposed to type it in. The default route, this stuff here is, I didn't type in, so I think that's just standard. Then we go, yeah, PVDM module. So if you buy the 2FX or the 4FX DID card and your router does not have one of these PVDMs, you'll need one of those for those to work. So username, password, who cares? Then here we go. So you have to set up a loopback address, and this is all in like the serial ports set up, and then there's another website I'll try to link to. That really explains everything. So anyways, we have a loopback address, which is the IP address of the default gateway. And then you see here, all of my other interfaces on this router are, basically not being used. I'm only using this one here, which is the serial port here, which is the T1. And you see here we have an address here, 10.10.0.1. And then my second router, the one below it, that T1 line is 10.10.0.2, right? So here, and that's my NAT outside line. This async here, this is the modem, right? So these are all the settings that you need on to get the dial-up working, and that is for sure all online on the server ports page. To get the two routers routing to each other, I'm using RIP. I tried to use EIGRP, and I was having issues with it, so I just went to RIP, and it seems to work pretty well. And then here we go. Here's my my default route. So anything, any network, any mask goes out to the 10.10.0.2 network, or not network, but address, and that is the second router, right? So then that router, or sorry, not the second router, but the bottom one. So then that router basically will forward all traffic from there. And then here we go, access control list. It's probably not even needed because I have this permit IP any at the bottom, which I was just trying to do to make sure things worked. And then we get down here. So dial peer. So these are the FXS card, right? So dial peer, voice, and I just gave it a number 1. It's POTS, the destination pattern. So that's the number assigned to that port. So this would be, you see here we have port 000. So that's line 0 on the 2FX card. This is line 1 on that card. So line 0 is 201, line 1 is 202. So the computer will be hooked up to line 0. I'll dial 202, and that one's connected to the modem. So that's how that works. And then here's some more information. This is like the line So I'm assuming this is because the modem can have two lines. It can use two lines on one cable, not at the same time. So I'm assuming line 010 is the first line. And you see here line 2 has nothing. And that's it for the configuration, right? So hopefully that might help a little bit. I'm not going too deep into it, but yeah, that's that. So what I'm gonna do now is get the computers started up, and then we'll see about dialing in between the two of them. And here is the first computer that we'll be using to dial in. And this is my very nice G4 MDD that I just bought a few weeks back from Craigslist for $100. It was $100 for this. And it's a dual 1.25 gigahertz model, Firewire 800. It was used in for like a video editing business. Just back in the day, at least that's what the guy I bought it from told me. And it's in super mint condition. It has like 4 hard drives in it, 2 GPUs, a Firewire card, another USB card. Anyways, so this is what we'll be using. I put the latest OS 10 on here that I can it can handle. So Leopard, and then this is the 23-inch HD cinema display that I just bought too from eBay for $61 in the box. I got the original box for this thing. Man, this setup here, in 2003, you were balling if you had this setup. So anyways, here's the modem area, right? So I have one setup saved for one of the routers. This is for the second one, the one that's on top, right? So we are going to dial into the top one. And there it goes. I'm not going to talk about the settings, but you basically put your username, password in, and that's it. And authenticating, you might not be able to see it up there. There we go, right? If we look over here on the console, right, it says right there, interface changed state to up. So this thing is connected to one of the routers, right? So if I go over to preferences and network, and there we go, we're connected. Let me zoom you in a little bit. So we're connected. Here's my IP address, 172.17.2.2, right? And you see we got some stuff going on here. And if I go over to utilities, wait for this to load, network utility, and ping, right? So this is the IP address of the other PC that's not dialed in yet. But let's just ping like the DNS server. Let's see if that works. There we go. We're pinging out to the internet. So we're basically going from this router, we're dialed into this router, T1 over to this router, and then from this one to my LAN, to my other devices in the back of the basement here. All right, so that's working. And then if we want to try to maybe go to a website, and this is still using spinning hard drive, so it's a little bit slow to load things, but let's go to the oldnet, theoldnet.com, and let's see how long it takes to load. There we go, we're on dial-up, and maybe a website that I used to like to go on as a kid. bestbuy.com. And let's see, 2004, right when I entered high school. Let's see what was going on at Best Buy in 2004. And there it goes. Yeah, dial up. This brings back memories so much. And look what's on the front page. Links this WRT54G. I definitely had that back in the day when we first got Comcast high-speed internet. But yeah, I for sure had AOL initially for a long time, way too long. But yeah, there we go. We're dialing up. We're using dial-up internet. Pretty cool, right? You can go online, do a bunch of things like that. But I think it'd be cooler to have something else, right? So let's go ahead and let's get this thing. I'm sorry that it's like way down there and I don't want to adjust the tripod. So anyways, we're going to dial this PC in, right? All right. Let's see here. Maybe I will adjust it. So you can get a better view. Okay, there we go. All right, so similar thing here, right? So this one is connected to my LAN, but I will disable it. So view network places, view network connections, and this brings me back to using Windows XP here. Sorry. There we go. So here we go. So you see my LAN here connection, I've disabled it, right? So let's dial in. So now we are going to dial into the other router, the first one, right? So you see we're dialing 102. That's the voice card is connected on the 102 line to the modem. The PC is connected to the 101 line. So we're dialing in the other number. There we go. We're connected at 33.6 kilobits. And let's try to do a run command and let's just see what we can ping. Can we get out to the internet? Yes, we can. And can we ping? So remember 10. Sorry, the 0 on the numpad does not work on this keyboard, but 10.10.0.2 is the T1 line of the router that this one's connected to, right? So we can ping that one easily. Now, can we ping 10.10.0.1, which is the T1 line of the second router, so the router that the G4 is plugged into? And see, it's still having some issues with pinging back and forth. I don't understand what's going on, but there we go. Oh, so it found it. It just took a little while. I haven't had this set up in a minute, so it must have maybe lost its route. But 10.10.0.1, yeah, that's the other router. And the issue that I know for sure doesn't work is pinging the MDD for some reason. Oh, sorry. 172.17.2.2. So the router sends a reply. Anyways, so that's cool. And this one can go online. I'm not going to, load the old net.com again. But what we are going to do is play some good old Halo. And we are going to have a LAN party between this gateway, the MDD, and my Z840 that's connected over Ethernet. And here we go. So we're going to do a multiplayer. LAN. I guess it technically is internet because it's going over different networks, but we'll say LAN, create LAN. We'll just pick the first one. Slayer, sure. So this is the IP address of the machine, should be at least. Maybe I can double check it. Before we go any further. Yep, 172.16.1.2. Okay, we are good. All right, Halo, we're back in it. All right, so we are going to set up 172.16.1.2, port 2302, right? Start game. And okay, we're started. So we can move around. Of course, you know, let's get around this building here. Somewhere in the middle so we can find each other. There we go. All right, so let's get Halo going on the G4. So we have the LAN party being hosted on the gateway. It's in the game at the moment. And this time we will try to start it up on the G4 here. All right, multiplayer, direct IP. We got the IP address of the gateway that's hosting the LAN party. And there we go, connected to server. And let's go find the other player. So we're having a dial-up LAN party at the moment between two Cisco routers. All right, so where is the first guy? I think he's over here. There he is. So if I show the other screen, here it is. D Shiznit. So if I shoot Halo LAN party over dial-up over two Cisco routers, and if you hear a bunch of clicking, that's my dogs upstairs. And now let's make this even more interesting. Let's put a third person in here. So let me make sure we'll see. I don't know if I have the IP address. Sorry. Super loud. And keyboard's not working. There we go. Cancel. All right. Let's see if it can connect to the gateway. No, this one's having issues. So I think I need to check my network connections. I don't know if the one port's enabled. All right, so I'm going to disable my LAN port, the one that goes to the UDMSE. So now we just have the network 3, which is directly connected to the Cisco router. So it should be on its own on the 192 network. So yeah, 192.168.100.2. So that's the LAN of the Cisco router. So let's try this again. So this one's still in. Continue anyway. There we go. Connected to server. Pawn all noobs. All right, so this guy is connected. So obviously this is not as interesting because it's over Ethernet, but we basically have two computers dialed up and we have one over LAN. And if I find the party, there they are. There's D Shiznit. And then we have Zach. So that's the gateway. That's the G4. Now we're having ourselves a good old standoff here. Let me shoot this guy. And then so pretty neat. I think yeah, you know, it's cool setting up dial-up and you know, pinging PCs and like going on the internet, but having a freaking dial-up Halo LAN Party I think is even cooler. And look at those lights. They're just going ham. So pretty cool. It doesn't always seem to work greatly. You know, sometimes the network connection will be lost, at least on the G4. I don't know what happens. But yeah, that's it. So let's shoot. That's the other guy. It seems to work pretty well, I think. So if I move, let's move this guy around. Seems to be pretty responsive. Little delay. And if I move this guy around, much better. Obviously, it's way more. So if I hit the key, boom, boom. A little bit of a delay on the dial-up side of things. Yeah, for sure. You know, I let off a key and the guy's still moving, but anyways, yeah, that's it. I hope you found this video a little bit interesting. I'm sure it's kind of jumpy going back and forth, but that's the Halo LAN Party over dial-up using those 2 Cisco routers over there. So have a good day.